whether we're in Philly, in the outskirts of Philly, or you could be on the other side of the country, other coast, customer acquisition's a big deal. So what's been working for you?
Years ago, we did every sports Philly event, and it drove the business dramatically off the charts. That recipe kind of wore out. We do it by reviews now. We became a trusting brand. If there's a pickle or a problem, they feel confident that we have equity in our model, that we're here for good.
Welcome into the Independent Thinking Podcast. This is your host, Rob Stott. It still amazes me every time I talk to a member of the group or an independent business owner or entrepreneur. I'm amazed at the fact that I'm still learning something new. There's some new strategy, a new tactic, a new procedure, whatever, what have you, something that you're implementing or doing in your business that is so very different and unique to you that it blows my mind. And I think, it's awesome and really at the heart of why we started this podcast in, 4 years ago, was to get at those stories and uncover those unique instances of what you're doing that someone else can learn from, and to be able to share those thoughts and ideas, and can love to continue to do it. And it's why this will never get old. And most recently had the opportunity to do that in the Philly area. Came across a member that is literally just 15 minutes down the road from me, one highway that separates us, and got to stop by their store, EDSTV, and the owner, Jim Fossile, there to sit down, a custom integrator and electronics retailer that has a unique way he approaches his store. He's got a great background and path through the industry and experiences that we learn from as well. But it's if I boil it down to one unique thing about EDSTV, and there's a lot of unique things, but the one that stands out is him talking about his storefront and how he co-locates with a furniture dealer that's right next door. Or I say right next door, their signage is right next door, but it is in the same space. They share a space, and it's just unique to see how it's set up. They use their products to collectively create this unique environment and showcase almost little vignettes of what home theater and home furniture can look like together, and the experience it creates for the customer as they walk into the store, and what it would be like in their home. And it was just awesome to be able to get out to EDSTV, his location, and talk to Jim and see what he's got going on. And like I said, bring that story to you here on the podcast. So let's dive into it. This is Jim Fossile of EDSTV here on the Independent Thinking Podcast. All right, we are back on the Independent Thinking Podcast, and I gotta say, this is the first opportunity for me to pop right down the road from my house to record a podcast. So, Mr. Jim Fossile, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me in your store here out at Colmar, right?
Colmar,
Colmar, PA?
I'm in Bucks, Montgomery County.
Yeah,
so
right down the road.
Like a little P.O. box.
309 connects us, not too far from one another. Owner of EDSTV, appreciate you inviting me in and doing a podcast with us.
Beautiful. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, absolutely. So, give us a little background on the business itself.
Okay, not everybody wants to hear my story, but I'll tell my story.
I do.
Yeah. So if I go back to the beginning, okay, I was always in retail. I worked at a Sam Goody store, which sold a lot of audio. Had a lot of fun with it. Through the ranks, I got promoted to a buyer, which I commuted to Edison, New Jersey. That's the early '80s. Back then, the video game business was very popular. So in that category of business, Sam Goody decided to exit that audio category. So I was out. I think they gave me my severance, and it was 9 years there. So I got picked up right away by Almo Corporation, which is a national distributor, and they made me director of purchasing, which enabled me to stay in the channel. And then at the same time, business started to flounder a little bit there. So they gave me some account responsibility on top of my buying responsibility, and that's how I met Ed. That's what the Eds from EDSTV is.
Yep.
So this is back in the early 80s. So almost 40 years ago, 40 years next year. So I always wanted to get back in the retail channel. I wanted to be on the front line. I had great success with it at the retail level. The buying thing, we were disconnected. The director of purchasing, disconnected. So by being in the retail channel, I made things happen. Worked a lot of hours in the beginning. Was basically a TV repair store, EDSTV, that had a good local following. So the first thing I did was try to grow the business by my brands and what I knew was profitable. And my biggest acquisition of brands was Mitsubishi back then, knowing from the wholesale business, because I was a wholesaler for Sylvania and Pioneer. I was in the wholesale category for a while and knew what brands were good. Right. And again, one of the reasons why I got out of the wholesale business was my success depending on my dealer sell-through. And buying through distribution didn't allow the margins that anybody could be successful in this category. You had to buy factory direct. So my biggest thing was getting Mitsubishi as a brand. And I rode that lightning in a bottle until the end. And it really put us on the map financially. And I think a lot of dealers had that success with Mitsubishi. And part of our decline of our business model, of course, was the internet. The brand disappeared. Mitsubishi disappeared. Yeah. Of course, Panasonic since then disappeared. Pioneer. And these were all core brands that really knew the channel very well. Yeah. So Sony's our core brand now. And again, the margins aren't the same as Mitsubishi. They didn't have the truck. They didn't have the marketing money. Then, of course, price erosion became a big pickle. Yeah. So through the trials and tribulations of retail, we tried to expand the category of business. I had a bed store next to EDSTV called Ed's Beds that we ran for 4 years.
Wow.
But through the bleeding of 2007, 2008, 2009, we abandoned the bed business because they needed a lot of marketing money, and no one was buying beds because nobody was buying houses.
Right.
So we abandoned that business. So financially, everything got a little crazy. People going out of business. I was hemorrhaging. So I bought the shopping center in 2007, sold the shopping center back to my partner, what I put into it to get the equity back in, to afford to run my hobby, which is my business and my passion, which is the electronic business, TVs and home theater. So we just stayed long. I had to minimize my staff to a bare minimum to get financially stable there. And we just followed my passion and worked a lot of hours. And we rode through the storm. I can make a list of 40 brands of neighbors or 40 manufacturers or retailers that are no longer with us that we used to compete head to head with, the likes of Circus City, of course Macy's, Stereo Discounters, The Wiz, Crazy Eddie. TV Stereo Town. You're
listing off. I'm just thinking in this area too.
That's all my immediate area.
I know, it's all
within a 5-minute ride. American Appliance, D's.
It's unbelievable.
These were all retailers. Sassafras Stereo, Soundex down in Willow Grove. These were all people that were in my channel that didn't either decide to call it quits or some other reason. Hi-Fi House, they're a very strong brand. John Robbins was very helpful to us with getting merchandise back during the when we couldn't get merchandise. But everybody disappeared. And price erosion of the product. We got to sell 4 times more product items today to make the same volume that we did going back 20 years ago.
What I love about your story, though, is that if you listen to it, like the experimentation and trying things and doing that, is that just natural for you, or is that something that was learned over time? Like talk about that a little bit. Whether it works or doesn't, right? Well, the fact that you're willing to step out.
Since then, I got very spiritual, and nothing's a coincidence in life.
Yeah.
And God put me in the path of a lot of people that assisted me for no good reason. Other than me being a nice person, maybe, but and giving me the opportunity to have this conversation with you today, where I told my wife when we moved the store to this new location 9 years ago, which is a unique setup because we share space with Leather Expressions, which is a brand new a category killer. They do mostly all leather, Natuzzi, Max Davani. So we co-inhabitate this space with the theater rooms that are set up with their Max Davani and Natuzzi fine leather. Of course, we do custom Amish furniture, which goes hand in hand. We do the Amish and we do BDI and Salamander because that's a profitable category, and it goes hand in hand as far as decorating the room. So a lot of what we sell is not just a TV like a Best Buy on the wall.
Right.
We sell a concept of a room.
Right.
Okay. So we have theater rooms set up in here, which you have the space affordably to do that because the building is dated and old that we occupy, but we doll it up on the inside. We have a virtual tour on our website so people can see what the store looks like. So we created a virtual tour like you do with real estate guys. Yeah. So people can get an idea what they're walking into before they walk in, so that we're not just a tube tester in a corner and a couple TVs set up, and then we just happen to hodgepodge it because we have a great presentation. But the the location we share with the Leather Expressions, his customer is my customer is his customer, and we get great synergy between the two. And affordability of real estate because we co-inhabitate this building with the heat and air conditioning, electric, and the internet.
Yeah.
And their customers, again, before the synergy works great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So talk about the name itself, right? Obviously an homage to previous owner. And
yeah, so there was a guy named Ed.
Yeah.
Okay. He still does business. Mm-hmm. According to him, we stole all of his customers. So when I moved the showroom, I thought that EDSTV sounded hokey. It sounded like something out of the 70s, which it is. So we tried to acclimate the name to use the same name, but we still say EDSTV.
Yep.
But we put this it's Electronics Design Solutions Tomorrow's Vision. Mm-hmm. Knowing that our category of business in the TV category is very limited as far as profitability. So we do more integration. Yeah. Integration with Control4, with Elan. We do dimmers and home theater, surveillance cameras, all these categories that are more profitable than selling a TV, of course. Yep. But they require professionalism. So we have 40 years of me doing this in my store here. This is the third location. But we have a lot of repeat customers and customer loyalty that really drives, makes it easy for us because our customers know us. Yeah. It's very hard to procure new customers. We know that. They get customer acquisition is very expensive. So a lot of our customers are repeat. The only problem is 40 years being a business, a lot of our customers sadly are dying. Right. Okay, because they're moving out there, and so we can't keep them. So we have to get new blood, and so we try to modernize our name. Yeah. That people would associate with something more sexier or more dynamic than EDSTV, Electronics Design Solutions Tomorrow's Vision. But when you go back to it, it's still EDSTV.
Right. Well, that's something too. The point you bring up about customers and where you find them. I know it's a big topic of discussion across the industry, whether we're in Philly, in the outskirts of Philly, or you could be on the other side of the country, other coast. Customer acquisition's a big deal. So what's been working for you, or what sort of approaches are you taking?
Years ago, we did every Sports Philly event. We had cable TV going on Comcast with every Flyers, Sixers, and it drove the business dramatically off the charts. Then again, said before that recipe kind of wore out because it was very expensive. Then Verizon's now in the category. So they had their own cable network. Yeah. And then you had the Comcast network, and people were now streaming. So we kind of abandoned that category because, we had a lot of funding was created by Mitsubishi, Panasonic. I'm talking tunes of $100,000, $200,000 a year to fund the machine.
Wow.
Okay. When 2007, 2008 came, that money dried up. So when the money dried up, the sales dried up because you couldn't afford to run that myself. And then, of course, when margins dried up, you couldn't take it out of the profit of the product because it wasn't there to be taken. So the MDF money, they call it, was, and we're still affluent. We're still asking for MDF money. We're still asking for vendor participation. Yeah. So without the vendor participation, it's very difficult to compete against on a customer acquisition to an Amazon, to a Best Buy, where they have a lot of marketing funds available to gain that customer. Mm-hmm. So we do it by reviews now. Okay. So our big thing now is reviews. We had the luxury of finding a company called Podium in the last 2 months. Yep. Podium does it's something that we get through nationwide. It can text on our phone line, so we got rid of the phone line system. Yep. And everything's voice through IP. And all our cell phones ring when the store set the hours before and after closing, so we can answer before and after. So we can answer the phone live even when I'm driving in the car. Right. Or I'm doing something else, or anybody can answer. So you get because you don't want to lose that customer. But a lot of it's just follow up or technical situations, or people have simple questions because nothing works the way it's supposed to work for a long period of time. Right. So that's one of the problems of our business is that customers they need that helping hand. Yeah. That's what we provide. We provide we're their guy. Right. Something doesn't work right with a guy, and they call us. Yep. But they can't call the cable company because they don't answer the phone, and they don't want no one wants to bug their kids because our customers are old. So they call us up, and we come up with a solution. And so the Podium enables us to text customers back, which is really the big thing now. People can call and they leave a message. They leave a text on our voice line, and the beauty of it is that they know that I can get back to them within the next 30 seconds. But it's just a comment. You get back to them within the next 10 minutes. They're satisfied with that answer.
Yeah.
So nothing falls through the cracks.
Right.
And then, of course, the other problem is that it's not a problem, but we can send payment requests to customers that finish up a project. You send a text that, can you pay this bill? And they can do it virtually on their phone and punch your information like you're buying a pizza at Domino's. Excuse me. And they can pay the bill.
Wow.
So we're not chasing people down for loose ends.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So it's a great platform. I'd recommend it to anybody, Podium. If you have a business, I mean, sure there's other platforms that work, but the people at Podium are very easy to work with. We do have a pickle. We do have Jury. Jury's a virtual AI guy.
Okay.
And the AI guy is supposed to replace an employee.
Right,
But,
right.
we realize that he can't replace a
Right.
live person. So he kind of gives words out to the customer
What?
to hold them in place in line. But so right now we're trying to pivot around Jury.
It's a line we should probably save so that people that are concerned about AI replacing jobs,
Yeah, right,
not
yeah,
quite
so
yet. We're not
you can't replace my
we're not
job.
there yet.
Certainly, you could probably replace somebody.
Right.
But our questions and answers are too.
Yeah, a little bit different.
Yeah,
this
correct.
industry. No, that's awesome though. I love too the fact that you mentioned that being the guy for the customer, right? Like that's if they're not coming in. Industries evolve, and we've seen that with whether it's the product they're coming in for or the reason they're coming in for, right? So they need that help. That's almost the entry point for them as a customer these days, right? Is like that something's not working and they need someone that can fix it, that they can trust,
Right.
And turn to. And then that person eventually, when you provide that solution, you help them with whatever they're facing, then they turn into that customer.
Right, and again, that's where we come in. Or the other tool that we use now, it's becoming a big tool from Nationwide, is the mail-in rebate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so every quarter they run the mail-in rebate for installation, delivery, and setup. So when someone does come in, and we end up boosting the installation costs a little bit higher, knowing they're going to get reimbursed.
Yeah.
On the back end, $150, $100, $250 on some TVs, that covers their costs on the back end with a Visa gift card. So it affords us to be a little more profitable because now we can charge more, and with that, the customer feel like we're jackknifing them, so they could they know they're getting some of it back.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
big box stores don't have that option. They do have other options where they give you a 5%. I mean, Best Buy gives some kind of discount if you open up a credit card. I mean, everybody has their little their tricks that they use.
Yeah.
They try to get the price navigated off a map pricing, or because everything is priced the same.
Right. Well, I know we talked beforehand about kind of this is a passion for you, right? So I want to ask about the the ability to evolve, sort of you see what's working in a business. It's not going to work full time, right, or all the time, right? Like you see something like a Mitsubishi, you called it that lightning in a bottle. So how do you, as a business owner, like what are you looking for, or keeping your eye on, trying to think of all the cliches, like how do you keep your finger on the pulse, right, of what's working for your business?
Yeah, so we find out that if you do things that Amazon, Walmart, and Costco and Best Buy can't do effectively, you kind of leverage that. Okay, and again, it's very hard to promote it. So you find yourself, in order to stay afloat, you do other categories like surveillance cameras, which are very profitable, and people now more than ever want their property to be secure. So you kind of put a little fear in them by, you need some cameras. Okay, what also helps is because our showroom's so large, and we had it for years. We started with Jay Rambo. We have Amish custom cabinets that we can custom make and this and that. So with the leather combination, the integration of the furniture, Salamander, BDI, and the Amish vendors, and the customization of cabinets, we have become a solution for people that want something better than they can get at Raymore and Flanagan, or from Wayfair, a knockdown piece of furniture, that we can fit their needs exactly. So again, everything helps. It's compound.
Yeah.
So we have our own installers. We have our own service department. What that means is if someone has a pickle, we're factory authorized Samsung, LG, and Sony. So we're a self-servicing dealer, they call it. So we do things that a lot of retailers don't have the option of doing. So it kind of puts us when a customer does come in the showroom, which is again a big problem, is traffic. They're buying from us.
Right.
We give them no reason not to buy from us, other than price being an issue on a model that we don't carry, like a Vizio, Westinghouse, TCL. It's not our wheelhouse. We just tell customers that we sell stuff that I'd buy myself, not. But the passion part of it is you talked about. Again, I built my own stereo before when I was in high school, and I always liked the music industry and like my own car radio. So I became an electrician by trade, and this was a category where every day I show up and is it really work? I mean, there's work involved, but it's a really I mean, it's just a hobby that turned into a business model that afforded me a lifestyle for almost 40 years. Well, actually longer if I count my Sam Goody days. But it's never been like a day at the salt mine where you're humping and pumping stuff. Even though when we did a carry appliances for a year and a half, we thought we can grow that business and realize that it's not we're better than that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The appliance business is a humping business, and we don't want to be humpers.
Right.
So humping heavy stuff. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
We got you.
Yeah, so nobody wants to do a 27 cubic foot side by side in a house that only needs a 22 foot. And you can't get through the front door. We've been there, done that. So because we're technical, we do. They gave me networking with Wi-Fi extenders, and always people have these problems. And so we became a trusting brand because of our time in the business and knowing we have a storefront. I mean, a lot of people do this out of the trunk of their car. A lot of people do it out of their garage, and they'll have a website, but they don't have a storefront. So if there's a pickle or a problem, they feel confident that
they can come here.
We have equity in our model. That we're here for good.
When you said it too a little bit ago about the selling the experience, right? Like we're sitting in a room right now doing this interview in one of your, I think 3 or 4.
Yeah, we have 3 theater rooms set up,
rooms.
and we have our core brands are Epson and Sony for projectors. Even though we can do other brands, but you have to pick a brand. So in this room we have an Epson 4K projector, acoustic transparent screen. So we give people the feeling that when they're looking to do a theater, give them options to review and look at, which is, I mean, doesn't come cheap, and a lot of people don't have this luxury of having the showroom where you can demonstrate multiple different models of speakers, but the projector systems set up that are through Control4 that are automated. I can operate it from my phone, and I show people how easy it is. I can do lights, dimming lights, create scenes. Yeah. So the ability to demonstrate is very powerful. So the fact that we have this makes it easy to channel a customer into the knowledge we have, and then the category of demonstration gives the ability so customers can make an educated buying decision. Yeah. Because customers don't know what they want. I mean, they think they know what they want. Their friend has it. Yep. But they see when they come into the showroom, they feel confident that we're their guy, because we touch all the things that they have concerns with.
And I know you mentioned, obviously, the ability to work with another business to build these spaces. Talk about the approach to the showroom, and how often are you looking to evolve it, or does it change frequently, or is it really product launch based, or anything like that?
So I mean, right now the big thing now is 98-inch TV, which is I've started now. Samsung has it down to $4,000, which kind of dilutes the projection business a little bit. Someone told me through the grapevine that Best Buy is abandoning 2-piece projectors and screens because of the integration of mini LED walls and the 98-inch, and now TCL has the 100 and some inch screen. So because everything is becoming more media rooms. So with the laser projectors, you can do a little brighter image. So you use high contrast screens, so you can have ambient light on in the room and still enjoy the room and eat food and entertain without being in total darkness like a real movie theater. So that's where the category is changing with the big flat panel now, where 100 inches may be big enough for them people, unless they want to go bigger, 120, 130. Right. So you run into a situation where you want something bigger, then you have to go to the either laser short throw. With the laser, now you have brighter images, so now you can get the ambient light higher in the room and still see the picture. So the category of the manufacturers understand that their model is what they got to sell, what customers want is changing. So they're developing their product lineup to coincide with what people are buying. So that's where you kind of manufacturers kind of lead you
Yeah.
Because they know if it doesn't sell, they're sitting with inventory.
Right.
And if it doesn't sell, they're not making it. So if no one's buying it, why make it?
Right.
So they change their model production to fit the customer's needs.
Yeah.
So that's where you kind of use the manufacturer's lead.
Yep.
In that category.
Gotcha. And I have to, you mentioned it too, right? Being able to bring a customer here or have them meet you here to go through some of these, whether it's the rooms or just see sort of what they don't know what they want, right? Until they see everything in person.
So it's funny. So
able to touch it.
You get customers that call us on the phone. They want a consultation. So we go out to the customer's house, no charge. Okay, so you meet and greet them. Okay, and you see, and then you tell them that they have to come to the showroom. Okay, so you can put together a plan. So there are customers that don't want to come to our showroom; they just want us to pick stuff out for them. But in the showroom, you can explain in depth what their buying decision is and what they can see it live. So the showroom does have that ability to educate the customer. So maybe you can grow the ticket. Maybe what you were going to install wasn't what they thought they wanted. They got to shift gears. So, but that's what you have, and you can show them the integration of the lighting and try to grow the ticket. The idea is to grow the ticket, not just a simple project, turn it into something. Right. Since we're here already, you might as well just do this, and this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So sometimes it backfires, but but we've been good with it.
No, that's awesome. So what are you looking to in the future? I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I want to make sure I get the chance to ask you about sort of, you've seen a lot of evolution in this space, and I know you mentioned some of the products you think that are really driving business, but as you look ahead.
There is a category of business that we didn't touch upon, which I scratched my head to figure this out, is the outdoor living. Okay. So with the Terrace TV and the Sunbright, we always carry them. But talking about a category that, again, scratch your head, someone installing a $10,000 TV outside in the elements, okay, and not be afraid of someone ripping it off, right? Okay, and these customers that just they want a TV everywhere in a room, and inside and outside. So now you have the integration of like the Sonan speakers, and we do Paradigm outside listening to music, and you create a little paradise outside their residence. And I think COVID had a lot to do with that when people couldn't leave. It kind of really accelerated the outdoor TV business. But the outdoor TVs aren't cheap, which is a good thing, because now you're selling $3,500, $4,500, $10,000 outdoor displays, and then you have to do the installation. You got to get electric, so the ticket just grows exponentially. You need an audio solution because you can't hear the thing without external speakers because it's not loud enough. So that's a whole category of that they're really it's just.
And in a market where we are seeing all four, to your point, like the elements, we're seeing all four seasons here. So
right. So the idea there is that people, it's just in spring when you think things are getting soft, all of a sudden, I'll take one of those terraces. I'll take a 65 full sun terrace for $6,000 and install it. Like okay, because again, things going outside, and knowing they can put an indoor TV outside for $1,000 because you can't watch it. Right. But customers have the financial ability to dump that kind of dough into an outside display. It's not for everybody because it's big bucks. But we're the guy that does that. So we had, there's a lot of Ferraris being sold, a lot of Porsches being sold, and a lot of outdoor TVs being sold. So we're the guy that can provide that experience with knowledge and a confidence that it's going to be done right.
No, that's awesome. So what do you hope next for your business? We talk about where you think it's going, but what do you hope to kind of see moving forward?
Well, I think micro LED is going to be hot if they can get the price down. We build the wall with the modules. So now you're going bigger and brighter. But customers, again, they're running out of space in their houses, but I just say that the integration of smart houses. We just set up a house, which was frustrating. Guy wanted Google. He wanted Google, talk to Google. Google, play this. Google, do that. Google, do that. And it's frustrating to work with because you can never charge enough because you're doing something a customer can normally do. But voice integration, we have it with now Control 4, the voice on the remote Control 4. Talking to Google or Alexa to have her do the automated things that you normally would push a button on a remote control for. That gets more tightened up. But the people still want TVs installed. People are doing media rooms, and people enjoy their homes. So whole house audio, and then of course the category that really I touched on before was video surveillance.
Yeah.
Where people want to feel secure in their own environment. I know there's Blink cameras and there's Nest cameras out there, which is do it yourself. It doesn't give you full view all the time.
Right.
So you hardwire them, and our customer that's buying that $7,000 TV outside would like to have a camera.
Yeah, right. Make sure
that
right on that.
They can see the guy in the hoodie from taking it. You know?
Makes perfect sense. It's a nice add-on.
Yeah. Protect your environment. And hopefully your portion of the driveway. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome. Well, Jim, this was a lot of fun, man. Like I said at the top, appreciate you having me in and give me a little spin around the showroom and a little history on EDSTV. So this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, 40 years.
Yeah.
Never a day. There were some financial situations that were touch and go. But you know what? God prevails.
No, it's incredible. Well, we appreciate it. Great having you as a member. Look forward
the buying group has been great to me. I mean, they gave me a lot of Mitsubishi money back in the day, rebate money. That's why I joined the group. Was that heck, I'm got 1% on Mitsubishi, $2 million. That's $20,000. That covers the dues.
Yeah,
that was back in the early 2000s.
Sure.
Yeah. So and then of course I got great support through the other brands too.
Yep.
And now they host our website with RWS.
Yep.
And we do the rebates. Now we're doing we got finally signed up again for the extended warranties.
Awesome.
So we're trying to make that another profit category, but
incredible.
So
well, keep leaning into it.
Yeah,
and,
just try and err. If you fail, try again. You know.
It's a great message and a great one to end on. So we appreciate it and look forward to catching up down the line here.
Another day in paradise. That's all I can say.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And thanks again to Jim for taking the time and sitting down with us and opening his showroom to us so that we could come in, collect some unique images and footage and just do the podcast from there. It was nice to sit back on a nice leather couch and be able to talk to him and have a fun conversation about business and what he's got going on and where he sees things going. So appreciate him. And as always, appreciate you listening to the Independent Thinking Podcast, and we'll catch you next time.